There are so many reasons why Australia is such an amazing place. We have amazing beaches, beautiful scenery, weird yet interesting natural attractions, these cute things, this guy, a big banana, bunning sausage sizzles, and of course Vegemite. But this one is generally debatable. Australia is filled with so many amazing national icons and landmarks, but there is one icon we forgot to mention. A landmark that takes up to 22% of the continent, it just can't be that hard to miss, right? Well, we're about to find out. I'm Alex, and this is Ecolab. Once again, hello to everyone, my name is Alex, and today we shall be discussing the risks and threats to the Great Artesian Basin in Australia. But what is the Great Artesian Basin, and what makes it so great? For the ones that don't know or simply forgot, how about a quick history lesson to jog your memory?
160 million years ago, Australia didn't actually exist. Instead, it was once connected to a supercontinent known as Gondwana. But due to plate tectonics, the continent split into smaller continents that we know as Africa, Antarctica, and obviously Australia. During this change, certain events occurred causing ocean levels to rise, flooding the area known as the Great Artesian Basin. As water levels fell, water became trapped underneath the surface, which formed an impermeable layer. Rivers currently still running didn't succumb to this change. In carrying gravel and sand, the rivers turned the layer into sandstone, also referred to as aquifers. Somewhat of a fracture on the surface, it allowed rainwater to travel down into the basin, stabilizing the content of water to a connected spring. And this is how the Great Artesian Basin was formed and works.
Welcome back everyone from your history lesson. I hope the presentation was educational, because right now we're about to get environmental. So why discuss the Great Artesian Basin? Two reasons. One is that it is an important asset in Australia that gives purpose to many residents and companies inland. And two, mainly because some of the videos on it are prehistoric and I felt like I needed a newer one. To answer the risks and threats, we must first understand how this all came to be. Returning briefly back to the year of 1878, the first bore in Bourke, New South Wales was drilled. As you would expect, it yielded water and was the start of a really bad idea. By 1899, 524 bores were constructed, discharging water out freely from the basin and into designated areas, which only brought forth even more risk, mainly loss of water and pressure in the basin. Any form of legislation that were to pass at the time were halted. In Queensland 1891, a legislation was proposed due to the decline of water from bores through the government. Sadly, having it passed through the lower house, the upper house declined, stating that the water was being recharged from the surface rainfall somehow, somewhere, and that there was no cause for concern. Great, so now we have government officials who have read environmental science for dummies, who believe that there is a magical cloud that can provide 455 megalitres per day to the basin itself. Skipping to 1915, there are now 1,500 free-flowing bores. It wasn't until 1954 that a report on the Great Artesian Basin was published to the affected states in controlling the flow of water. By 1999, government funding and the GABSI offered assistance in capping and repairing the uncontrollable bores, having $31.8 million funded over a 5-year period. By understanding the history, the main concern that started the management of the Great Artesian Basin was the water usage and water wastage. Believe it or not, the 10-minute showers you've all taken once is nothing compared to this. The 1,500 bores constructed in 1915 wasted over 750,000 megalitres per annum. Having the word mega in it makes me feel that a lot of water was wasted. Thankfully, since 1999, approximately 759 bores have been capped or are currently being successfully controlled by GABSI or volunteers, returning 253,000 million litres per annum to the basin, with a total cost of $124 million. But there are still many bores in the GAB that are active. With constant water being drained from the basin, the obvious risk is decrease of pressure in the basin and decline of water volume in the future. Further issues can then lead to salinization or soil erosion, which can then lead to the loss of biodiversity around the bore. Not only do the environmental values come into view, but so do the social values. More than 70 towns, as well as most pastoral stations and mining operations in the region, rely on the basin water if the source of water were to disappear. Industries and towns would be abandoned, critically affecting the current situation in Australia. Although limited human resources are available in monitoring the basin and rehabilitating some areas, minor efforts through the GAB Strategic Management Plan 2000 have been made by setting objectives in managing pressure and reducing waste. Maintaining and controlling the risks and threats have proven difficult and timely due to limited resources. Addressing the matter within communities can help change the attitude, helping reduce water usage and be more proactive to the matter. The importance of the plan is that it guides governments, water users and other stakeholders on policies, programs and actions necessary to achieve optimal economic, environmental and social benefits from the existence and use of basin groundwater resources. Following on from social and environmental values comes then down to economic values, which generally refers to the industry surrounding the GAB. Pastoral businesses alone use up to 500,000 million litres per year. Although much of it is lost through seepage and evaporation, the usage can be better managed. Though talk of water wastage is generally involved with the GAB, a new threat has recently appeared in Australia and poses serious health risk to human consumption of the basin's water and the ecosystem. Coal seam gas, also known as CSG mines, is the new form of energy in Australia and has the potential to contaminate and reduce water levels in the aquifers. The process known as fracking is used in extracting the gas, which uses water mixed with chemicals and sand that fractures coal deposits, vessels releasing methane gases. In many cases, this can lead to contamination with water and depressurization. The project aired an episode regarding the CSG in 2013, and what they showed was the industry and the harm it has to the social and environmental values. Greenhouse gases, fragmentation of habitats, and altering of landscapes are only the few factors that can appear in the industry. Although the government approve of the mine, certain environmental regulations have made that a limit of water is to be extracted from the basin and that on-site bore infrastructure are to be improved. Acts and policies such as Environmental Protection Act 1994, Environmental Protection Water Policy 2009, and many other currently protect the basin from becoming a dumping ground for waste. The Great Artesian Basin is currently undergoing changes and not much has been done to help it. Department of Agriculture and Water Resources Queensland have recently begun drafts for a new Strategic Management Plan 2018-2033 for the Great Artesian Basin. With a new reform plan emerging soon and new problems arising, it is the perfect time for a new objective and task to be considered to protect the basin water. Once again, I'm Alex and thank you for watching Ecolab.